The second element of the sales personality is competence. Every successful salesperson that I know is very, very competent. So the question is, what is competence? Simply put, competence is the ability or capability to deliver on a task, an assignment, a responsibility, a role or a function, and deliver very well. In other words, a competent salesperson, therefore, is an individual who possesses the ability, the capacity to deliver on sales targets, deliver on sales responsibilities, sales rules, and sales function, and deliver effectively and efficiently. So the obvious question arising from this definition is, so what do you need to have to be able or capable of delivering on a task, a role, a responsibility, and deliver very well? This question will be answered by identifying the components of competence. So there are three major components of competence: knowledge, skills, and of course, attitude. Knowledge is the totality of information acquired by a person about a subject matter. Knowledge is also the understanding, the awareness, the information that a person possesses as a result of either learning, experiences, or education. So the question is, what level of information, what awareness, what understanding do you need to acquire and have to excel as a salesperson? Simply put, what do you need to know to meet your sales targets and achieve revenue goals? I've identified 8 very important things that a salesperson needs to know to excel in selling. The first is knowledge of the needs, the wants, the desires, and the preferences and expectations of your target market. Number 2 is product knowledge. A competent salesperson has a deep understanding of their products and services. They can explain the features, the advantages, and the benefits of their offerings, as well as articulate the values derivable from the products that they sell. Number 3, competent sales professionals have the ability to link their product and services to the identified needs of prospects or the target market. Number 4, a competent salesperson also has deep knowledge of their company. This involves understanding the core objectives, the strategies, the policies of the organization you work for if you are a paid employee. This would also include knowledge of the vision, the mission, the pricing policy, the focus, the core values, the culture, the competitive edge of that company. The 5th thing is knowledge of the competition. So except of course you're a monopoly, great salespeople knows who their competitors are, how the competitors are perceived in the target market, the objectives of competitors, the strategies that competitors are deploying, how the offerings of competitors compare with theirs, the strengths and weaknesses of competitors, and how to outcompete those competitors and win the market share. The 6th thing is that a competent salesperson also possesses knowledge of the rules and regulations guiding their industry and their offerings. For instance, if you're selling alcohol or tobacco products, what's the rule pertaining to selling to underage, for instance? Different industries have different regulations and policies that guide what can be sold, where it can be sold, and who it can be sold to. So a full grasp of the regulations and regulators may protect you from being a victim of the law by breaching laws and falling into legal troubles. Number 7 is the knowledge of the dynamics, the trends, the patterns, the preferences, the psychography, the behavior of your target market. That's also very, very important. After knowledge, the second component of competence is skill. Skill refers to the ability to apply knowledge to perform a task. In other words, skill is the practical demonstration of knowledge. For instance, product knowledge is demonstrated by communication and presentation skills. So the only way I would ascertain that you know your product is when you communicate the information about that product to me. So skill involves practical hands-on experience in doing something. The question then is, what skills do you need to acquire and or be proficient in to become a competent sales professional? I've identified some of the most important skills required for sales excellence, and I'll share them with you in a sequential order, by my own estimation, by their level of importance. So the first crucial skill is networking and contact making skills. This is the fundamental and to a large extent the most important sales skill. Now this is so because before you can use and demonstrate other skills I'll share with you, you would have to first of all meet the prospect or the customers. For instance, it's only after you must have met a prospect that you can begin to demonstrate your communication skills. So in Module 5 of this program, we shall extensively discuss the very important skill called business and social networking skills. Number 2, related to networking skills is prospecting skills. Prospecting simply means the act and the process of looking for people who can do business with you but have not started. In Module 4, we shall dedicate that module to the critical skill of prospecting. The third skill is communication skills. In selling, communication is the skill that you use to engage your prospects and of course your customers. The main elements of communication relative to selling are, number 1, questioning skills. This is the skill with which you engage your prospects to understand their current situation, their aspirations, their challenges, the implication of those challenges, and subsequently be able to understand their needs. The second element of communication skills is listening skills. And listening skills refers to the ability of a salesperson to effectively and actively listen to their prospects, listen to the customer during that sales interaction. So listening skills are crucial because they help you build rapport and understanding of the customer's need and ultimately help you in closing successful sales. So effective listening goes beyond just hearing mere words. It involves interpreting, comprehending, and responding appropriately to the information conveyed by the prospect or the customer. Now, based on the questions you've asked and the responses you've heard, the next element of communication skills relative to selling will be verbal or presentation skills. This is the skill with which you now pitch your offerings. The fourth element of communication skills is, of course, non-verbal skills. That's the skill that you use to interpret body languages and cues. The fourth skill is negotiation skills. And this is the skill that is needed to help you bargain with the prospect, highlight value, and reach agreement that both parties perceive as mutually beneficial. This will also entail handling objections, addressing customer concerns, their apprehensions, responding to their questions. And we shall focus extensively on this topic when we get to Module 7 of this program. The fifth skill that you need is, of course, sales closing skills with which you would close the deal. And we shall examine this skill when we get to Module 8. After you've converted the prospect into a customer, the sixth skill that you need is the customer relationship management or the key accounts management skills. Other skills that you would need for selling would include time management skills, analytical skills, problem solving skills, interpersonal skills, and other soft skills and technical skills. So, after skills, the third component of competence is attitude. Attitude speaks to your mental disposition towards sales and selling. In selling, attitude refers to the mindset, your outlook, and your demeanor as a salesperson while engaging with your prospects and customers. Attitude is so very, very important because it can significantly impact sales interactions, impact relationships, impact results. And because attitude includes mental and emotional disposition, it can greatly influence a salesperson's behavior, approach, and engagement with prospects and customers. So the key elements of attitude for sales excellence would include number one, a high sense of self-worth. Now, this is the mental disposition that recognizes and asserts the fact that the salesperson is a value carrier, not a nuisance or a pest. Self-worth is that inner assurance that you should have as a salesperson that says to you that you deserve to be listened to, you deserve to be appreciated, and that you have a right to sit on the table with prospects and customers because you have come there to offer them value. The second element of attitude arising from self-worth is, of course, confidence. Confidence is that mental disposition that is brought to bear in selling that conveys assurance, fearlessness, boldness, courage, even with humility. Positivity is the third element of attitude, which of course involves optimism, enthusiasm, a can-do mindset, and a fervent spirit. Now, this is the attitude that inspires a salesperson to approach challenges as opportunities and helps a salesperson maintain their motivation even in the face of rejections and setbacks. Number four, of course, is empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and relate to the prospects or customers' needs, concerns, situations, and emotions. A salesperson with an empathetic attitude can build deeper connections with prospects and customers. The fifth element of attitude, and indeed one of the most important elements, is patience. Patience is the mental disposition to wait and endure for your sales efforts to turn into deals, results, and accounts. Patience in selling refers to the ability of a salesperson to remain calm, persistent, and understanding in the face of challenges, in the face of obstacles, in the face of delays throughout the sales process. It involves not rushing or pressurizing the customer or the prospect, and being willing to invest your time and effort to build stronger customer relationship and close a sale, as well as manage challenging situations. Resilience is an important element of patience. Patient salespeople understand that not every interaction will result in an immediate sale and are therefore resilient in continuing their efforts. That no to your product or service is not a no to you. And if a prospect says no, there are several other prospects that would say yes to you. Now, related to patience is persistence. If patience were a coin or a paper money, then persistence will be the flip side of that coin or paper money. The two sides are necessary for the money to be regarded and accepted as a legal tender. So patience without persistence would amount to laziness. And persistence without patience would ultimately breed frustration. If patience is waiting calmly in hope and positive expectations, then persistence is doing something while you wait. Persistence in selling refers to that unwavering determination and effort that a salesperson applies to pursuing leads, to overcoming objections, and ultimately closing deals, even in the face of challenges, in the face of rejections, and in the face of setbacks. Persistence is so very crucial. It's a crucial characteristic in the world of sales. Persistence also manifests in continuous follow-up. Continuous follow-up with leads and prospects, even if it requires following up with them multiple times to answer their questions, provide information, maintain that engagement until the deal is sealed. Now, tenacity is a major hallmark of persistence, which involves a commitment to achieve sales goals even when the path is challenging. The other elements of attitude are honesty and integrity, and they are very crucial ingredients of attitude. They involve being forthright, transparent, and truthful in the dealings with prospects and customers, because this would help you build trust and credibility. Then, of course, customer-centric focus is another element of attitude, which means putting the prospect or customer's needs and interest first. So while knowledge and skills are very important, it's often a salesperson's attitude that would set them apart, because it impacts their results and influences how prospects and customers perceive salespeople. So I have an assignment for you. The first thing I want you to do is to conduct an audit of your sales personality using the elements of competence that we have reviewed so far. Number 2, identify the gaps existing in your sales personality, again using the elements we've discussed so far. Number 3, develop an action plan for closing the identified gaps between the elements I've listed and where you stand in your rating.